Or what has it been like having a 6 month gap between competitive games?
Well, I think the whole life for all of us on this screen has been surreal, hasn't it? So I'm not independent of anyone else's life. It's been strange. The whole You ask any manager, the best part and the worst part of the job is a match day. So take the match day out of a manager's working life. Their working life is less stressful, that is for sure. So in that respect, it's been quite nice, and I've been able to spend loads more time with my kids and be a lot more present. So I've enjoyed that part of it. But without having matches to prepare for, has been strange, definitely. And it just felt like COVID for everybody, not being able to leave the house. That was a really tough time. But ever since we've been able to leave the house, we've been trying to recruit. We just felt like the pre-season's been double its length. It just felt like that sort of felt normal to me, to be honest. It's only when we started playing games, and I promised myself I wouldn't try and be as emotionally fired from the sideline this year as I have been in previous seasons. Within the first 10 minutes, Richie turned to me and said, "I thought you weren't going to be as," and I went, "Yeah, I know, mate." So obviously, I have missed the combat of competitive sport. So it has been nice. I think my life personally, and I can't speak for anyone else, and if you've suffered, I'm really sorry, but my life personally has been really good and enjoyable, but it hasn't had the real highs or the real lows. It's just been like a ripple. So I haven't been at the bottom of the ocean, and I haven't been on a massive riptide surfing it either. I've just been on a nice little coast. So I think my life needs that excitement and needs the drama of match days. So I am looking forward to it. I am looking forward trying to sleep on a Friday night as well, which I've got really good at, but I've got a funny feeling I'll get bad at again. But yeah, so to go 6 months is a long time, but I suppose even more so being a football manager, like loads of managers go longer than that without a job. So I suppose that if I'm going to do this as a career, I'm supposed I'm going to have to get used to that.
You think managers need to find that healthy balance between, letting a weekend game, for example, control your life?
Yeah, I think it's nearly impossible though. I mean, I speak to managers all the time, and in fairness, when I first took over, like I've said to you before, I felt like a fraud, massive imposter syndrome. I used to feel embarrassed to phone other managers because I thought they could see through me and think, "Warnie's a manager, wow." So I found it really tough. Whereas I don't feel like that now. So I speak to loads more managers, and most managers laugh at my comments. 'Cause I'm way too honest, but I think they all admit it's a really tough job and the pressures are immense. So, however, you could argue the rewards are, but it's a tough job. And I think like if my team wins Saturday, I'll get interviewed after. I'll get well done today and all that, and I'm like yeah, thanks ever so much. But really, how much of a part did I play in it? It's all about the team. But in the same way, if we lose by an overhead kick in the last minute and I come over and you go, disappointing today, I'm like, how could I stop an overhead kick from a player who's never done one in his life before? I've never seen it on any video. You know what I mean? And I don't think any manager can get away from that. And unfortunately, and I try and get away from it, every manager I know just literally lives and breathes it all the time. Hence why the top managers, when they come out of their job now, I can't believe that Howe can't get a job anywhere in the world now, my personal view. But I reckon he'll have 6 months off just to try and get his head back, just to breathe. So it is a really, really tough job. I'm probably more defensive of managers, obviously being one, than I've ever been. So, for example, I know, because I know how people are, regrettably, but if one manager in the Premier League loses their first 2 or 3 games, that's it. Everyone's focus is on them then. Or if they don't win the next one, they've got to go. And you're like, wow, hang on a sec. They've been preparing this team for 3 months. It might just have been, a few coincidences here and there. The best players, you don't know what's happened. So it's a really tough job. It's a really tough job. And I think it's one of them jobs. If you've never done it, you never know it. And even though I've been involved in football, professional football for 25 years or whatever, and I've worked for managers, it's still a lot different to what I thought. So you can imagine, without sounding disrespectful, the person on the street is their opinion of it is even further away from that. So I think for mental health, uh, managers do need a lot of help. I speak to the LMA quite a lot. I have like a mentor, which is a great help for me. I have a really good staff, but it still doesn't detract from the fact after defeat, I drive home on my own. I don't have my wife and kids in the car with me. I drive home on my own, and I need that time on my own. But it can be a really, really, really dark, lonely, sad place. It's a really tough job that we give everything we can to. And if you win or lose, it can be on that. And that is the sad thing.
Has there been any progress on a new contract?
Yeah, there has been a bit of progress. Like me and the chairman have a really open, honest relationship. I think. Well, I say we do, but I believe we do. And you know, he's been away in France, and he's now in lockdown. So we speak on the phone, but there's no drama. Once he comes out of that, we'll have a cup of tea, and I can't see it being a problem. I mean, I'm saying that it's not the best negotiation technique, is it? But I can't see there being any curveballs. I want to stay. I believe he wants me to stay. And luckily, this pre-season, I've not received any letters asking me to quit yet. So that's always a good sign as well.
And finally, on a lighter note, have you ever had a goalkeeper before that's had his own fashion line?
Why, have I now?
Yeah, Jamal Blackman has got his own fashion line.
Has he?
Yes.
Well, I'll have a look at his gear on the way out then. There might be some knockdowns for me. Does he do fashion lines for like someone who's nearly 50 bald with a beard? That sort of fashion line? Or is it a different...
I don't know. I might be in the market for that myself.
Me too.
I mean, I'll check what sizes he does, but we could be in here. We could be in. Well, I didn't know he'd done a fashion line. I thought it was going to be something crazy about Victor. If you said to me, Victor, you know, used to do naked fishing or something crazy, I could see that, because Victor's definitely got that look in his eye of mischief. But Jamal's quite a quiet, serious pro. But a fashion line, is it just men's, or is it like the whole shebang?
I believe it's plus size and tall men. He's got his own fashion label.
You talk to someone who's 5'10" and skinny like a rake. That is the worst fashion line I've ever heard of. There is no benefits for me signing him at all. Absolutely devastated. Well, no, I've never signed a goalkeeper with a fashion line. And if Pricey had a fashion line, I would definitely not buy off him. He's got the worst dress sense I've ever seen. So, but I'll keep an eye on Jamal when he walks out in a little while.